The HD540 Reference Gold is a statement piece from 1987. Released 1 year after the standard HD540, is there any point to it, or is it just a piece of headphone jewelry? If you haven't seen it yet, I would encourage you to first take a look at my previous video covering the HD540, HD250 Linear, and HD560 Ovation, as that will give you some foundational insight into some of the topics I may cover here with brevity. Like its sibling the HD540, it is almost entirely the same headphone. The notable differences being the gold-coloured side badge, gold print on the headband, and gold-coloured woven mesh grills on top of the cup foam, where the HD540 had only the fabric. Unlike the copy of the regular version I have here, the reference gold came with its original earpads. These are one of the most complicated earpads ever made, and certainly the most complicated earpad made up to this point in headphone history. Inside the pad are two concentric rings of foam of varying density, separated by a ring-shaped sheet of non-porous plastic. This foam is surrounded on its sides by thick weave fabric and finished on the contact surface with artificial leather. By now almost every single copy has lost its leatherette layer, but this likely has little to no impact on the overall sound quality. There is one other difference that is not obvious at first, but the reference gold also has an extra layer of damping felt just under the earpad. Comfort and fit is exactly the same. After quickly listening to these headphones side by side, it's not easy to see why you would pick one over the other. They are, of course, fundamentally the same headphone, and do largely share most of their technical and subjective characteristics, but differences do exist. First of all, I think it's important to remember that the original HD540 here has the later full velour earpad version, which is notably warmer and provides superior bass extension. After some careful listening, differences became clear. The reference gold is actually slightly more sensitive and plays a bit louder out of the same source at exactly the same volume. The reference gold also appears to have an edge on detail and speed, with a very fast, snappy sound that is also delicate yet musical. This gives the reference gold an incremental edge over the OG version, but enough for me to confidently say that the reference gold is the real flagship headphone here, with resolution comparable to or exceeding most proper flagship headphones from the past 4 decades. So the obvious question is, how much of this can we simply attribute to the earpad selection after swapping the pads, meaning that the original HD540 was now on its originally intended earpads? The original sounded much thinner, and somehow missing a lot of the life in the music. The reference gold, with the full velours, only improved for me massively. The sound became richer, fuller and warmer, yet did not lose that snappiness and detail that it already had over the HD540 from my previous comparison. The short version of the story is that the original HD540 can only be heard properly at its full potential with the later full velour earpads, and the reference gold is the undisputed king, no matter which version of the HD540 pad it has on. Comparing the reference gold to its more modern successors like the HD650, it's clear that they are two different headphones. While Sennheiser kept their signature mid-range linearity in the 650, the reference gold is more of a performance, with a larger soundstage and more pronounced treble. This is another great example of why you can't trust frequency response graphs. Anyone looking at these graphs might easily conclude that there isn't a whole lot of difference between them, and certainly not that the reference gold sounds significantly less veiled. But it seems the extra energy around 8 kHz is doing a lot of heavy lifting. From a technical point of view, the HD650 also far surpasses the HD540 reference gold's sub-bass ability. While the reference gold sounds fine with most electronic music and can take a decent bass boost on some tracks, with extremely deep thunderous bass, the HD650 much more easily produces those frequencies with ease and flair, while the HD540 sounds restrained and lacking body. Of course, that's a very specific use case, and while it's not representative of the entire performance, it should be pointed out nonetheless. For any lover of vintage headphones, Sennheiser fanboys, or if you need a headphone that would fit perfectly in the office of a mafia boss, I can only give this headphone my fullest recommendation. As a statement piece from Sennheiser, it has not only stood the test of time, it continues to offer a musical performance not commonly replicated by modern headphones. Of course, if you already own an HD600 or 650, you're already 95% of the way there, or besides the different staging and treble, so I encourage you to also take my hyperbole with a fist-sized pinch of salt. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.